full speed to the inside. He scored! Pawns it off there. Oh, Ovechkin destroyed Route 2. Alexandr Ovechkin curl and drag to the backhand. He scores! Simply sensational!
He's one of the greatest hockey players to ever lace them up.
Ovechkin, full blast the other way. Fires, score!
The Ying to a rival great's Yang.
People in the room, just me. Pizza, 4 chicken fingers, 2 meatloaf sausage, corn dog. My name, Sidney Crosby.
Ovechkin.
A model of consistency and excellence, with a legitimate chance to break one of the great ones' all-time records. He is the Great Eight.
What's up, babes?
From humble rinks in Moscow to becoming the most iconic athlete in DC sports history.
Yeah, baby!
This is the story behind Alexandr Ovechkin. Alexandr Mikhailovich Ovechkin was born in Soviet Russia with athletic excellence in his blood. His mother, Tatiana, was a 2-time Olympic gold medal winning basketball player, and his father was a footballer. Ovi didn't grow up in the lap of luxury though. The Ovechkins lived in a rough part of town on the outskirts of Moscow. Ovechkin told GQ in a 2010 profile that most of his high school peers ended up in prison or dead due to drug abuse. For Alex, there was hope, salvation, and an escape on the ice, with older brother Sergei, 15 years his senior, getting him into the game of hockey and ensuring Alex got to games when his parents weren't available. Tragedy struck the family when Alex was only 10 years old, as Sergei died from blood clotting complications following a car accident. Young Alex played through tears the very next day, with the memory of his older brother only fueling his desire to succeed on and off the ice.
If he will be right now, I don't know if he's going to be a hockey player or not. So I don't know what can happen if he's be alive. Maybe I would know the hockey player. And I knew somebody have to take care of my parents in the future, and it doesn't matter if it's going to be hockey or something. I have to be successful.
His trademark glove kiss after goals is an ode to his late brother, by the way. Ovechkin's undeniable talent was evident early, as he caught the eye of famed sporting club Dynamo Moscow, and while playing for the club at 11 years old, broke Pavel Bure's goal-scoring record by netting 56 in a season. Ovi continued to dominate the youth ranks, eventually turning pro for Dynamo Moscow in the Russian Superleague at age 16. Though he would only tally 68 points over 3 seasons in the RSL, Ovechkin was tapped for stardom and entered the 2004 NHL Draft as the game's #1 prospect. A childhood fan of Mario Lemieux, Ovi only narrowly missed ending up on Le Magnifique's Penguins, as Pittsburgh used the #2 pick that year on fellow countryman Evgeny Malkin. There would be no second guessing who the Washington Capitals would select first overall when general manager George McPhee stepped up to the mic.
With the first selection in the 2004 NHL Entry Draft, the Washington Capitals are pleased to select Alexandr Ovechkin.
Not like there was ever any doubt.
As Capitals owner Ted Leonsis would say about Ovechkin later that night, when he stood next to me, I honestly could feel his heart pumping, which is what everyone has been saying about him. His engine runs at higher RPMs. Perhaps Leonsis could sense Ovi's competitive fire. 2 years before Will Ferrell's Talladega Nights introduced to the world a comedic bit of wisdom about being first or last, Washington's newly drafted Russian teenager didn't shy away from telling the hockey world he got exactly what he wanted. I always want to be first. If you are second, you are second. If you are first, you are first, Ovechkin said. My mom and dad always said, whether you play hockey or football, you always want to be first. The Russian prodigy's first game would have to wait, as a lockout wiped out the entire 2004-2005 season. And by the time Ovechkin's debut rolled around, there was another #1 pick the hockey world was enamored with.
Pittsburgh Penguins select from Rimouski in the Quebec Major Junior League, Sidney Crosby.
Subdued Canadian whose skill and playmaking ability were second to none. Ovechkin, the brash Russian, whose speed, goal scoring, and almost recklessly physical play popped off the screen. It didn't take long for Ovi to make his mark in the NHL.
Dinas, Zubris spins, Ovechkin fires, he scores! Alexander Ovechkin, welcome on board!
That patented Ovi one-timer was one of 2 goals, including the game winner the 19-year-old scored in his NHL debut, en route to a 52-goal, 106-point rookie season that saw him best Crosby for the Calder Trophy. In the middle of that triumphant rookie season, Ovechkin also scored the game winner in an Olympic quarterfinal against defending champions Canada, who hadn't even brought Crosby to Turin. Though the Russians failed to medal, it was a sweet serving of revenge for Ovi, who had lost to a Crosby-led Canadian team in the gold medal game of the 2005 World Juniors. By the time Ovechkin's ridiculous debut season wrapped up, no rookie had scored more goals since Teemu Selanne's record-setting 76-goal campaign in 1992-93. No NHL freshman has scored more than Ovi's 52 since. The guy couldn't miss, no matter where he was or what he was shooting.
I hit it! Yeah! I shot it with that and I got it! I swear to God!
One goal in particular stood out immediately, and a decade and a half later remains the finest individual effort of a legendary career.
Everywhere for Washington to play clear. Ovechkin storming in. Alexander Ovechkin curl and drag to the back end. He scores! Simply sensational!
Even more poetic was that Ovechkin's most brilliant moment came in front of Wayne Gretzky, who was coaching the opposing Coyotes that night. The goals, points, highlights, and accolades would continue to flow in the years to come. Ovechkin scored 46 goals and added 46 assists in his sophomore season, then took home his first Rocket Richard Trophy and first Hart Trophy as NHL MVP in his 3rd year, when he exploded for 65 goals and 112 points. It remains the most goals scored in a single season over the last 26 years. Ovechkin wasn't just a one-man show on the ice either, as in the middle of that incredible 2007-2008 season, the agentless 22-year-old negotiated his own contract extension. The 13-year, $124 million pact became the first 9-digit contract in league history. With some help around him in the form of Nicklas Backstrom, Alexander Semin, and Mike Green, Ovi also led the Capitals back to the playoffs in his 3rd season. And though Washington would fall in 7 games to Philly, there wasn't much more Alexander the Great could have done.
Left to go. And you said Green means go up. Ovechkin scored! There it is! His first Stanley Cup playoff goal! And it's a go-ahead goal for Washington!
Ovi notched 9 points in his first playoff series, and the Capitals looked like an Eastern Conference team on the rise. Ovechkin had become a full-blown superstar, the rare NHLer to transcend the lines between on-ice and off-ice stardom.
Hey, Ovi.
Hey, what's up?
What are you doing in the dark, man?
Nothing, just the late night filings.
Really? Late night filing? What are you, a Russian spy or something?
Yeah, right.
All right, I'll catch you later.
Yeah, see ya.
Пронесло.
Да уж, чуть не спалили.
He had also transformed the Capitals from a laughingstock into a perennial playoff team, turning DC into a hockey madhouse and earning a key to the city in the process.
I'm a president this day in the city. So everybody have fun and no speed limit tickets.
On a send-out for Hammerlick was too strong. Ovechkin, a beautiful move down the wing. Ovechkin full speed to the inside. He scores! Absolutely brilliant!
With another 56 goals in 2008-09, Ovechkin won his 2nd straight Rocket Richard Trophy, and the Capitals advanced to the 2nd round of the playoffs for the first time in 11 years, where they'd fall in 7 games to the eventual champion Penguins. Though Ovi and the Caps were on the rise, a pattern was emerging, and the critics began to circle like vultures. Though he was as prolific as 21st century hockey players come, had turned a franchise around, was named Capitals captain within his first 5 years in the league, and became the first player to be named a first-team All-Star in each of his first 5 seasons, the skeptics grew louder as Ovechkin's teams continued to come up short. The Capitals won the President's Trophy as the NHL's top regular season team in 2010, finishing 18 points clear of the East's second-best team, then lost in the first round of the playoffs to the 8th-seeded Habs.
And I think the Capitals, as an organization, are going to realize that they were built for the regular season and not built enough for the postseason.
Ovechkin's Russian team finished 6th at the 2010 Olympics, while Crosby was scoring the golden goal at home for Canada. Washington finished first in the East again the following year, only to lose to the 5th-seeded Lightning in the second round. Ovechkin's worst individual season came in 2011-2012, when he still put up 38 goals and 65 points in 78 games, but he struggled in the playoffs, and the Caps once again fell one win short of the conference finals. Between the 2012-13 and 2015-16 seasons, Ovechkin won 4 straight Rocket Richards as the league's best goal scorer, but the Capitals won just 2 playoff series in 4 years and didn't make the postseason at all in 2014. Washington won back-to-back President's Trophies in 2016 and 2017, but lost second-round series to Crosby's Penguins in 6 games and 7 games respectively. Through 12 seasons in the NHL, Ovechkin's numbers and individual accomplishments went head-to-head with any player on the planet.
Cruising on in, toe-drag, score! 1,000 points!
But while Crosby had collected 3 Stanley Cup rings, 2 Olympic gold medals, and 3 head-to-head playoff wins over his Russian rival, Ovi had yet to even play in an Eastern Conference Finals game and never medaled at the Olympics. After prolific postseasons early in his career, Ovechkin's spring offense was also drying up, as between 2012 and 2017, he totaled just 40 points in 60 playoff games.
Every space is different. Every person is different. Well,
game and persona were picked apart over the years. To old-timey hockey gatekeepers like Don Cherry, Ovechkin wasn't humble enough.
You're a good hockey player, but watch what your one teammate does when you score the 50 and you start that nonsense, right? Watch what you do. Now watch how he skates away.
I gotta have a closer look. Are you sure?
Yeah, he skated right by him. You should be a role model. You don't need to do like this. You're above stuff like that. You're the best hockey player playing today. Have a little class and do it right.
To armchair analysts, he wasn't defensively responsible enough to lead by example in the playoffs. He just didn't have the mythical and unquantifiable it necessary to win in April, May, and June. When he crossed the line, his physical game often told, his own coaches and teammates questioned his tactics. As between the 2009-2010 and 2011-2012 seasons, Ovechkin was suspended 3 times. He even feuded with Malkin for a couple years after allegedly punching his Russian teammate's Russian agent at a Moscow nightclub in 2007. Even Ovechkin's political connections made him a target for public scorn. To get back in fans' good books off the ice, Ovi finally needed to win on it, though the 2017-18 season began in familiar fashion.
They're playing with Kuznetsov, and that is different, and he strikes like the arch-predator he is, right off the bat.
Ovechkin became the first player in 100 years to open a season with back-to-back hat tricks, but the Capitals won just 5 of their first 12 games, in what looked to be shaping up like another season of disappointment in Washington. With 12 years of disappointment fueling, a 32-year-old Ovechkin refused to let the Caps die, however. Ovi posted his best season in a half-decade, won another Rocket Richard Award, and entered the 2018 playoffs with a fire so palpable, even Cherry admitted during a postseason edition of Coach's Corner that he looked like a man on a mission. In what might best be described as the hockey equivalent of Dirk Nowitzki's late career 2011 title run in Dallas, Ovechkin was a man possessed in the spring of 2018.
Ovechkin in a 2-on-1. Backstrom moving on. Across to Ovechkin. He scores! With 1:07 to go!
The 13-year veteran recorded 27 points, including 15 goals, in 24 games, leading the Capitals first past the Blue Jackets and Crosby's 2-time defending champion Penguins to finally make the East Finals, then past the Lightning and expansion Golden Knights to claim the Capitals' first Stanley Cup.
Alex Ovechkin, it's your honor. Come on up.
As he lifted all 30 pounds of Lord Stanley's mug above his head, Ovechkin was finally free of the boulder that had been sitting on his shoulders, one of blood, sweat, tears, and heartbreak. For his efforts, Ovi's demon-slaying postseason run ended in a Conn Smythe Award as the MVP of the playoffs, and the ensuing months-long celebration came to be known as the Summer of Ovi.
Ovi! 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 Ovi!
We're the Stanley Cup champions! Yeah!
The guy for whom second place was never enough was finally on top where he belongs, even if it took him a lot longer to get there than he originally planned as a teenager on that draft stage 14 years earlier. Though the Capitals have yet to win a playoff series since that 2018 triumph, Ovechkin hasn't slowed down. He won 2 more Rocket Richards immediately after that cup-winning season, recorded 42 points in a 45-game pandemic-shortened 2020-21 season, and was on a 57-goal pace through the first month of the 2021-2022 campaign, his age 36 season. The guy looks well worth the 5-year, $47.5 million extension he signed in 2021. The deal also ensures the Capitals icon will remain in DC as he chases down Wayne Gretzky's all-time goals record. It was previously inconceivable that anyone could threaten the Great One's mark of 894 goals, but Ovechkin has already leapfrogged Marcel Dionne and Brett Hull to climb into 4th all-time, will likely pass Jaromir Jagr during the 2021-2022 season, and should crack the 800 mark and pass Gordie Howe sometime during 2022-2023. And it's not like he's slowing down or breaking down either. The guy has been one of the most consistent and durable athletes of the 21st century. Through his first 16 years in the NHL, Ovi never missed more than 11 games in a season, averaging 79 games played per 82. The worst goals per game season of his career still saw him find the net 32 times. At the time of this writing, he could go scoreless for 133 consecutive games, and he'd still be averaging a point per game for his career. Through those first 16 years, Ovechkin made 7 All-Star teams and 12 times made All-NHL first or second team. He won 2 Hart trophies and took home 3 Ted Lindsay Awards as the most outstanding player as voted by his fellow players. He's led the league in goals 9 times, winning more Rocket Richard Awards than the rest of the NHL combined since he broke into the league. He's led Washington to the playoffs 13 times. The comparisons to Crosby and debates over where he ranks all time will rage on, but there's no way to measure that with any kind of scientific certainty. What we can say about Alexander Ovechkin is that his combination of goal scoring, speed, power, durability, and consistency is remarkably unique. Ovi is different than everybody in the league. Former Penguins rival turned Caps teammate Brooks Orpik told ESPN in 2018, "There are so many good players in the league you can find comparables to. I could find a lot of guys that are more similar to Sid. Ovi is one of a kind." As he creeps closer to 40, with wife Nastya, the daughter of a Russian actress, their 2 sons, and a graduate degree in his near future, you can begin to see a life after hockey for one of this generation's brightest stars. For now, Ovi continues to suit up and score goals at nearly the same rates he did 10 or 15 years ago. And all of us are fortunate to be able to continue watching him do it. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video and want to see more content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button.